peeps, it's your girl Shell. Tell me, why Meghan Markle? I ask because of the stories and comments that I'm hearing about her. I mean, I thought she was out of the spotlight. I hadn't really been hearing anything about her in quite some time. I mean, the media seemed to have been focusing on who they should be focusing on, and that's the heir, William, and his wife, Kate, and family. But lately, I've been starting to see these reports, and they seem to always have something to do with Meghan Markle. So, my question is, why Meghan Markle? Why is there so much focus on this woman? You know, I was reading on an online article and it said something that I found to be very disrespectful and unnecessary. And the words of that article stated, and I quote, while she sits back idly waiting for an apology from the royals for making her life relevant and internationally famous. What? How could they even say something so rude, hateful, and unnecessary? Number one, as is all of us, she's God's creation. So indeed, she's relevant. Number two, she was known for being on Suits. So she was relevant for that reason as well. And that goes to refute what they said about her, that she made her, that the show made her internationally famous by the royals. Because the Suits had favorable views and it held a 91% Rotten Tomatoes approval rating. With that being said, she was on streaming services because of the Suits, streaming not only in the United States, but in the UK, Canada, Germany, Italy, Spain, Japan, Korea. In all these places, people laid eyes on her at some point or another, and sometimes regularly. And they even had remakes of the show in the latter, Korea and Japan. So it was a popular enough of a show for them to want to do a remake. I call that relevant. So it seems as if they're just nitpicking every little thing she does, including things we all are found doing at one point or another in our lives. Common things, common everyday things. Come on. They commented about her fixing her husband's hair. Are you serious? Don't we all do that at some point, especially as husbands and wives? I mean, I even fix my husband's, I don't want to say hair because he doesn't even have hair, but I do find the reason to touch that bald head of his. And that same article says that she's trying to upstage the coronation. Do you want to know how they say she's trying to upstage it? Well, they claimed she was trying to upstage the coronation by attending, get this, by attending a playoff game between the Lakers and the Grizzlies. Something that, how many people at that game were doing this? With that in mind, was everyone at the game trying to upstage the coronation? Of course not. So why, out of all those people, did they single out Meghan Markle as one trying to upstage the coronation? If she was trying to, you would have to say that everybody at that event were doing the same thing because they all attended just like she attended. Firstly, how is attending a sporting event that someone else scheduled upstaging the royal coronation? If anything, you may be able to get away with saying that the person who scheduled the game is the one trying to upstage the coronation because they're the ones who scheduled the game on the day that the coronation was to take place. Secondly, if you say that Meghan attending the sports event can upstage the royal coronation, then you're saying that you believe, not her, but that you believe that she's just that powerful. She's just that big of a name that she can attend a sports event and take attention away from the royal coronation. And if that's what's being said here in this article, that sounds more like Meghan Markle made the royal family more relevant and not the other way around, because how can the irrelevant upstage the relevant? I'm just asking because it doesn't make sense to me. It just seems like everything they point out as a negative regarding her, that it's a regular thing that we all do. You know, at one point they said she needs to get on with her life. And though it appears she's trying to do that, at least to me it does, it appears that she's trying to do just what they want her to do. But they're finding fault with that. It just seems to me that they just want her to not exist. And again, I say, why Meghan Markle? You guys are going to be saying this in your sleep. What has she done to deserve this? She was minding her own business prior to the royal family, but made a life decision when Harry expressed interest in her. She followed through with it, fell in love with the man, and endured what she endured while part of that royal world. Then, when she gets ready to tell her own story about it, how many of us want to tell our own story? First of all, let's think about that. But when she gets ready to tell her own story, she's telling her story as she receives it. But when she does it, they bash her and call her a liar. How can she be called a liar, telling her truth, and the media be deemed fact? And that's during this age when we know that many stories in the media are made up. Besides, it's her story to tell. She lived it, not the media. They weren't in those walls of the royal compound. Meghan Markle was. No one can tell her the story that she lived wasn't what she lived. They can't tell her that it wasn't true. That's her story. And only she can tell how she experienced it. For clarification, it doesn't matter if you and I were present for the same event. We're both going to experience it differently, right? So if I said I experienced the events one way and you say you experienced it another way, I can't tell you that you're wrong, and you can't tell me that I'm wrong, because that's how we individually experienced that event. And we both have that right to take it whichever way we want. Now, based on how we take it, it may seem like we need to do some readjusting with our mindset, how we think. And maybe that's what it is or what it was with Meghan Markle. Or maybe not. We just don't know because we weren't there. Now, the consensus based on the media is that she should leave the royals alone. And to me, it seems as if that's what she's doing. She's trying to focus on rebuilding her life to what it was prior to the royal chaos. And one more thing that I must mention before I end this. But before I do, if you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and to click that subscribe and notification button. It's free, y'all. Now, back to what I wanted to mention. Something I found to be funny in that online article. It was a comment given at the end of that article. I was reading some of the comments, which were all crazy, by the way, and I could really say a lot about each and every one of those comments. But this one comment in particular stuck out to me like a sore thumb. The comment said, because Harry and Meghan chose to go and enjoy a sports event amongst other patrons that were enjoying the same sports event, that it meant Meghan Markle didn't want her privacy. Does that even make sense to you? Because it definitely doesn't make sense to me. So if I say to someone that I want my privacy, normally what does that mean? It means that I don't want that person to pry anywhere in my life that I'm not giving them access to. Now, if I open up a certain part of my life to them, then fine, free range, comment away. They can say whatever they want to say about the situation because I opened that up to them. But if I choose to leave certain parts of my life closed off from the public, I don't expect them to go digging because that's none of their business. That's my private matters. And I believe that's what Meghan meant when she said she wants her privacy. If everybody who says they want privacy had to be a hermit, because let's keep it real, it sounds like that's exactly what this commenter meant. Because regarding Meghan's presence at that sporting event, she said, yeah, right, that's a sure way to be private, going out to a basketball game. And that comment just doesn't make sense. Because attending a sports event doesn't mean a person doesn't want their privacy. However, if you're openly doing something while at the event that others can see, you should expect that others will or may comment on that activity. So her comment is like saying, if they want their privacy, why don't they stay at home? And that just isn't logical. Besides, if that was the case, we would all be hermits locked up in our homes. Don't you agree? Well, that's all I have, peeps. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you leave. Until our next video, this is Shell signing out.